Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita from Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
Hey everybody, so we are at episode 110. Today we're going to talk about how to add organic elements to your home. And lots of times people talk about organic, or if you read articles in the magazines, and you might be thinking, well, what beyond the plant is organic? So we're going to give you
Exactly.
a really nice comprehensive list of things that are organic that can really transform your decor in an inexpensive and easy way. Okay, so let's talk organic items for your home. So everybody would think of a plant. Okay, we're going beyond the plant. Yvonne, you want to jump in with something that's organic?
Well, can we talk about what that is? What are
good idea.
What are we talking about?
Let's take a step back. So I think of organic as something, it evokes warmth and ease. It's a natural object, natural materials. It might be living. It may have been living at some point. It somehow comes from the earth. That's how I think about when I'm thinking about adding organic to my decor.
Right.
Yeah, and
exactly.
I think that's what it is. And I think the reason to add it is it just adds so much warmth and coziness to a home. It kind of, I think, has a connection with the earth, and it just feels very, I don't know, it just kind of helps you connect with the house. I'm having a hard time explaining why it is, but it just has this cozy feeling. You feel connected with the house in a way that maybe if it's all, it just has a softness to it that some things, other things that are man-made, don't add.
No, you're absolutely right. A certain je ne sais quoi, as the French would say.
Yes, there you go.
I think what it brings, most organic things are very textural. And we've talked about texture as I just did a post on it. Like, it's the biggest decor secret. People, home decor enthusiasts, often forget about how important texture is. And this is where texture comes into play when we talk about organic things, because most organic things have texture to the hilt.
And especially if you're a neutral decorator. Texture is so important. So look to these organic items and materials to add the texture that you need when you're talking something neutral, monochromatic, in the neutral light tones.
Here's another thing I want to add about the neutrals is they really transcend your particular decorating style. So it doesn't matter whether you've got contemporary, mid-century, modern, country French, whatever, farmhouse. The organics are going to work in your home.
Yes.
And so just
Excellent
keep that in
point,
mind.
Anita.
It's going to work. And I'm just looking around the room that I'm in right now. I'm in my recording studio, which is also my guest room in the house. But I'm
she
looking.
She records all her guests. So,
no.
Be careful what you say.
No. But I'm looking at there's a moss ball I'm looking at, and then there's a bamboo rug and bamboo shades. I mean, there's, there's some, and then there's a cotton rug. I mean, it's got a lot of texture to it. So just a few things I can note right off the bat.
Anita, I'm going to circle back to that because people don't necessarily think of rugs as being, something that's organic, but your sisal rugs, your jute rugs, well, they're all jute rugs, but they're different varieties, bamboo, sisal, whatever. They bring a lot of texture to a room. I've had my living room. It's been a work in progress now about 6 years. And I thought, well, I could do several things to it, but I thought for just photographic purposes, it didn't photograph my hardwood floors come up sort of red, and they don't look like that in real life. But I thought, I'm going to throw a big jute rug down and then put my animal hide on top of that. Unbelievable difference.
And it's beautiful.
And I just because of the texture alone, there was other things that helped make that room look more cohesive, but the texture just stood out. I thought that's the reason why. There's so much subtle texture in this rug and it's organic that it totally changed the look of my room. So think about using some kind of an organic rug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
And there's obviously wood, so you can bring that in your furnishings, your flooring, small decor items like dough bowls and things like that. But here's one that you may not have thought of. Rocks. I love rocks.
I don't think of rocks.
I love rocks. I get this from my grandfather. My grandfather loves rocks. He had rocks in his garden. In fact, I think he thought if there was a rock somewhere on the side of the road, even if it was sort of on someone's property, that it was okay for him to add it to his collection. There was a family joke where Grandpa always had a rock in his trunk. It was kind of weird. But I have a tendency to pick up rocks too. But
along with other things,
among other things in my neighborhood. But if not, obviously not giant boulders and stones, but even if you used some pebbles in the bottom of a plant container or something like that, or those really smooth river rocks. I mean, it's just to think about that. Even those, those black, smooth ones, kind of the ones that look like they're primed for skipping across the lake or something like that.
Yeah.
Even if you just had a bowl of those, one of our patinaed silver bowls filled with those, or I dug up this gorgeous rock that was almost like a geode from my garden.
You are so funny.
And I was like, this is the prettiest rock. And it's got these lines and layers. There's some greens and grays and taupes. And I washed it all up and I use it. It's now sitting on a silver tray with this little feather ball that I have next to my cloche. And that's a vignette on my coffee table in my living room right now. And I love it. It's so pretty. It's got so much visual interest and it's clearly really, really organic. So there's lots of ways that you could bring some stones or pebbles or rocks into your decor.
On a family trip to Bar Harbor, we were out at the bar and the tide was out. So there were all these beautiful, smooth black stones.
Yeah.
And I said,
that would be beautiful.
So my kids and I, everybody in our family, the kids, I sent them on a hunt and I said, just find the prettiest smooth stones, not too big. And I have them in a glass pedestaled jar.
How pretty. Yes.
I never thought of that. I mean, it sits on one of my bookshelves, and obviously it's a really, really cool little souvenir that I brought back from Bar Harbor and it's filled with memories. But it really looks pretty.
No, I love that, and you've collected them, so that's such a nice memory. Kind of like when people collect seashells. Obviously, seashells also organic.
Well, there you go. That's another organic.
Yeah, or even I would venture to say sea glass, since glass is sort of organic in a way, but it's been sort of tossed around in the ocean for so long.
We'll let you get away with that one.
Give me that one.
And then what about when you've got a candle? Yeah, what about if you've got a candle around the base of it? I like to use black beans or white beans to kind of set it in the hurricane glass or whatever. Yeah, coffee beans too. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you can, and you could use pebbles there too.
Right.
Like the
I think sea glass around a candle that's in a hurricane would be gorgeous.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah. The light it would throw off, I bet you that would just look so pretty.
That's a good one. And just back to wood, wooden stumps. I mean, everyone has seen them, I'm sure now, in catalogs as little side and accent tables. Well, if you're having any trees taken down or cut, or if you have a place where you maybe go buy your firewood, maybe you could even get something like that. And I'm sure if you just Googled, I'm not exactly sure what kind of varnish you might put on it, maybe like a marine varnish or something like that to protect it, but you could make your own little side table. And how pretty is that with all the different, bumps and the different designs that are in the natural wood.
And Kelly, if you get it level at the top, you can put a pretty glass top on it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And what about the wood slices for a charger for your plates?
I have such a good source for that. I'll put that in the show notes.
Or even a trivet to put a hot pot on. I guess you could use it for that as well.
Well, here's another thing. We have a gas fireplace to our chagrin, but it's just
Yeah.
We're in and out so much that, I mean, we'd love to have a wood burning, but we're in and out so much that
We've
we
got
can
the
just
gas
flip
too.
this on and,
Yeah.
have it really.
It's kind of nice.
And it's very warming. But, we just bring in like a big, a bucket full of wood and put it beside the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives it more of an authentic look. It also brings in a whole lot of texture.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Just
a great
something
idea.
as simple as that.
Yeah, I have that actually. My fireplace doesn't work right now. It isn't gas, but honestly, I want to make it gas because I can't stay up late enough to have the logs burned down, and I don't want my wooden,
the cleanup,
the wooden
my
house,
goodness.
and so I don't want that going on. So, when the funds become available, we might do that. But for right now, I just have a big nubby basket, and I have logs that I bought, just at the grocery store.
Are they the sparkle? They're not the sparkly
No,
ones.
but they might become glitter logs.
Oh, if you
That's
do
right.
a post on that,
Come
let me
Christmas
know. I'm
time,
going to definitely copy that.
Considering that, yes.
Yes, beautiful.
So
And
if you have a
here's-
non-working fireplace, that's a great option. Obviously you're giving a nod to the fireplace, and you're putting in something that makes sense in there.
Sure.
And it really does. Yvonne's absolutely right. And you could get the birch logs, which are so pretty, that have the white bark.
And
on
we
them.
can get those around here very easily, and they're my favorite to use.
Well, and let's talk about baskets, wicker baskets, which are very organic and they're so beautiful. They come in so many different shapes, so many different sizes. They're also fabulous for storing something that's maybe not so attractive to sit out. So, I mean, they're great for organization and just look beautiful in your home. So if you don't have baskets, I definitely would go get some baskets to add somewhere. They're a great addition.
And I think I'm sort of the basket queen, but I have very sort of updated baskets. I love perfectly square baskets with tall sides. And
or the French laundry ones are beautiful too.
Oh, they are. But I decided to sort of clean up my act in my pantry. And I have those baskets in my pantry that I can just pull out. And it has, like I have like a lot of my canned tomatoes and beans and things like that in one, and my sugars and other things in another. And they look really nice. So when you open my pantry, it's not overwhelming.
Oh, that is pretty. And are they all the same size?
Yes. Well, wait a minute. No. The one in the cabinets are all the same size because I have a smaller cabinet. And then with just one door, and then I've got a cabinets that open up. It's a 2-door. So the 2 doors all have the same size, but they're bigger than the 1 door. Got it?
Well done.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
Look.
I collect what we call, and my sister and I call sticks and twigs.
Oh, love sticks and twigs.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
you do.
great idea.
I have so many like curly willow sticks and
great
white spray painted sticks and even faux that look pretty real. Am I allowed to say that since we're talking about organic?
I think so. Well, I'll allow it.
Things. Okay.
That category of
you'll
faux
allow it.
organic.
But you have to make sure you can't tell that they're fake. Like I have some bittersweet that literally you have to touch to make sure it's not real. And to be honest with you, that was expensive because we can get bittersweet around here, but bittersweet's a bit of a mess. And I know a lot of places you can't get it. So I thought, well, I'm going to wait till it goes on sale, make the investment, and I just keep it from year to year. So I put them in tall white garbage cans and I just stick them by season. So I've got all kinds of things sticking up.
Oh, that's how you store them.
That's how I store them. That can be real or fake all together. So I can just go down and start pulling things out. I even do that with greens now because, greens, I figured out.
Is that all in your magical basement?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
we'll take a field trip to
My
we need a
magical
field trip
basement.
to Yvonne's basement.
Hey, I've been collecting for decades. But I do the same thing with greens. Like, we think about Christmas time. Very organic, great way to decorate. And I'm slightly allergic to real evergreen. That does not deter me.
No,
but I can't have a whole house full of it.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. and let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
I know, Anita, you use something that's organic that you think of at Christmas time, but you can use it all year.
Mm-hmm. Preserved boxwoods.
Yes.
Yeah, the wreaths or the balls. I have them out in my house year round because I just love the way they look. And yeah, they're kind of Christmassy, but I think you can get away with them all year round.
With your house, absolutely, you can get away with it all year. That
now,
beautiful
what about
French?
Yeah, so what about fruit? Fresh fruit and vegetables. Are we counting that as organic?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
Yes.
we've talked about that so many times. The bowl of fruit, the pears, the apples, the artichokes, whatever. That's a great way to go, and so economical. And, then you get to eat them as well.
Yes. I have a question for you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Because I know that lemon trees are abundant where you live. I can get lemon leaves from my florist. Did they last a long time?
They sort of do. Yeah, I would say they do. I mean, are you saying not in a water? You're just sort of laying on a table or something like that?
I would love to I have this big long dough bowl and I'd love to layer just the leaves and then put lemons on top of them.
Well, I think it would definitely be worthwhile doing it because it's going to last long enough for you to enjoy it.
Will it last let's say 5 days?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say at least 2 weeks.
Then that's
and I would
very worth it.
Yeah, I would keep it out of direct sunlight. So if I know your dining room is kind of bright, but I would maybe.
But my bar isn't. So
so that'd be a good
those
spot
on the bar, and I was thinking about doing that for Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
Because I think that would be really beautiful. Stick a few greens, faux greens with lemon leaves, and then the lemons.
Oh, I love that. I think that's a great idea.
Because I have just a thin dough bowl that has to be about 2 feet long.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, it sounds beautiful.
Yeah. But what about just even things that you may grow? Like we love to bring tomatoes in, and I love to have a bowl of those sitting on my counter in the kitchen.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Pumpkins.
Rosemary.
Ooh, pumpkins.
Just beautiful.
And even when you think about we're talking about stones. So if you don't have a real stone counter in your kitchen or elsewhere, you can just get a little slab. You can get even a small remnant, and you could use it if you had a table in your kitchen and maybe using it as a very oversized pastry board or something like that. That adds a lot of
That's a good idea.
organic elements.
Definitely.
And, they have even just a stone, marble or stone cheese board, something like that. And then use it like we are always suggesting as a tray to sort of corral a vignette or something like that.
Yes.
That's
absolutely.
a nice way to add that into your kitchen area or even your dining area, and not having the expense of, ripping out the countertops, but you're still getting that feel.
Even just using, excuse me, what you're thinking of just wooden cutting boards are gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yes. And
I mean,
there's, and I know you have a beautiful,
boards.
you have breadboards and cutting boards, Anita. You have a nice collection of those.
I go for the antique ones, which can be really pricey on the big ones. But, they're so hot right now that there's lots of reproductions out there. So usually you can get a reproduction at a much better price.
Yeah, I don't care if they're reproduction or not. I mean, I
love
the look of yours, but for
and the
my
big
kitchen,
size makes such a statement. So, it's
go big. That's right. Go big.
Yeah, I actually, in the mountain house, I had some big boards and I ended up putting them on the very tall, we have a cathedral ceiling in there. So I put them on the fireplace above the TV. So there's nothing I can do about the TV, but anyway, they're up there. So it made it a little more interesting.
And that brings so much interest. Your eye goes up and you see the warmth of those beautiful big antique boards. Oh, sounds gorgeous.
Well, eventually we're going to put in some beams in there, some wood beams, which again, that's more organic.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just cozies up a room.
It does. You're right.
When I was getting ready for this, to talk to you guys about this episode, I was thinking about those river stone bath mats. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I'm thinking they're really maybe not just for the bathroom, because you could use that.
You are rock crazy.
I do love a rock. But I mean, you could put that, you could do a runner on a table and then you could put that as sort of your center on top of the runner. And then you could build a vignette on top of that. Or you could use it in your bathroom. I have another thing that's a little off too. And I'm not sure about this one, but I'm going to share it with you guys. And
we want to hear it if it sounds off.
It might be it might be like, I don't know about that, Kelly. So, don't hold it against me if it's not such a great idea.
Judging, no judge zone.
But I was trying to think, organic and sort of a little out of the box. So that willow fencing that you can get? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Garden.
It looks like, it looks old fashioned.
Yeah.
It
looks woven.
It looks woven, right?
Okay.
And
they use it in Williamsburg?
Could be. And they sell it on gardening catalogs like gardenersupply.com and whatnot. And you could I've even seen it at Home Depot, and it can be fairly tall, like 6 to 8 feet tall. And
then I don't think they were thinking of the same thing. Okay.
So it's something that you would actually use in your garden. I mean, it would not be a sturdy fence, but you could use it in between posts, or you could use it just to sort of section off an area in your garden. But I was thinking, how everybody's so hot for shiplap and all that, and some interesting texture on your wall. I was thinking,
putting it on the wall
stuff could be kind of interesting as an accent wall.
Well, I'm going to give you an interesting.
Just an interesting, right?
So, I think you could try it.
Can you put an example of that in the show notes?
Sure, I can link that in the show notes. I mean,
she's making it up. I don't think she's seen it.
No, well,
I don't think she's seen it on the wall.
No, I haven't seen it on the wall. This is just in my head. And it could be about, it could be one of those things where you're like, no, that's a bad idea. But I was looking at all these, thinking about all these organic elements and inside and outside and how you bring the outside in. And I thought, well, if you had the right sort of space, or sort of like if you had a very confined bedroom, you didn't have room for a proper headboard.
It's kind of shades of that. What is it? Trading Spaces? Didn't they throw hay or grass on the wall one time?
Oh, I don't know. Did they?
I think that was one of the ones where the homeowners cried.
I might cry.
I don't want anyone to cry. But it could be
your
kind
idea
of a cool
sounds better.
headboard, I think. And very low profile.
Very, very rustic.
And very rustic.
Well, let's talk about another one. What about burlap?
Love me
Oh,
some burlap.
yes. Burlap.
I'm obsessed with covering every book I have except my decor books with burlap.
Yeah.
I love burlap, and I love the texture of it, and I love the monochronicity. Is that a word?
Now it is. Monochronicity. Let's all say that together.
Monochronicity of the burlap, and how beautiful it looks. But you don't look at I don't look so much as the color because it's so neutral, but the texture is fabulous.
See, and that's interesting because I definitely look to the color because my palette is so limited, and I mute that sort of my accent color is that weedy kind of color. And so the texture and the color is what I'm using around my house.
Well, I meant you don't look for it to be like a pop of color. I didn't explain
but
that.
in my house, it is more of a pop because I don't have too much color right now. So I think it works on both ends, but for sure the texture, and you can stick it in everywhere. You can stick it in under a potted plant, sort of dipping out of the basket.
You can make a headboard out of it.
You can make a headboard out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful
I actually
headboard
used burlap I think I had a shower curtain at one time, but I also used it for some slip covers I made for some ottomans. Actually, apparently it's when you plural of ottoman is ottomans, not ottoman. Yes. A little
hey, we're learning
for you.
lots here today. Today is actually an English lesson as well.
Yeah.
So you're getting a 2 for today. There's another word for you. But I have burlap curtains in my one guest room that are smocked.
Oh, I love
and
those.
They make the room.
Oh, those smocked ones are gorgeous.
Now,
And
remind me, did you buy those? You did, right? Or did you make those?
They were through Painted Fox, and they were a gift to me.
Nice.
Beautiful.
They're just gorgeous.
I wonder if they still have those. I do love those too.
We'll have to give her a call and ask her.
Let's check in. Let's see.
Yeah. And if we
there's
get
more
an
gifts to give out.
affirmative on it, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. If we find it, we'll put it in the show notes. How about a bowl of dried lavender?
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Because I have dried lavender all over my house.
I know.
Smells good. And I just like to even
That's
run my
one of
fingers through
your
it.
signature colors.
Yes, lavender and the dried. That's true because a lot of these organics don't have a lot of color to them. So it's nice to have some of the organics in your home that do have lots of color, especially if you have a neutral home. You really do need some color in there somewhere.
That's right.
So,
That's exactly right. Okay, let's talk about the obvious plants.
Okay.
Because we said it's beyond plants, but let's mention that because plants are such an important organic, and that's where you do have a little bit of color. They're green, mostly green. Some of them do flower, but I
really feel very strongly to what you said. It adds, put some live plants in your house. I mean, even though mine sometimes don't live that long, I still love having them in my house. And, I stopped doing them at one point because I realized they live so much better outside than inside. It's so much easier to keep them alive outside. But I recently, because of the podcast, I've been hearing you both go on about the live plants in the house. I finally added some recently, and I can't tell you how happy it makes me feel to walk by and see them. So
And
I
Anita,
really recommend it.
think about it this way. Now, I don't think of this as my fiddle leaf fig. That I adore and I baby to death. But I think of most of my plants as long-term cut flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
you don't count on them living that long.
Well, they live a good long time. It's, I mean, and they're a big bang for your buck. I mean, they live a lot longer than
But tell me what you mean then when you say you think of them as long-term cut flowers.
I bring cut flowers in, like I get them at the grocers, like carnations, let's say, because they last the longest, like those little mini ones. But in 2 weeks, they're done, and I don't fuss over that. So just the way I do a plant, I bring it in, and I don't expect it to live forever. I'm thinking okay, they're like long-term cut flowers. They may live a couple months, and that's pretty good.
Right.
Well, and what you're saying is a lot of time these plants are about the same price as the cut flowers. So if they do, have an untimely death, then, you just kind of accept it and move on.
And you just apologize to them when you put them in your grocery cart. and say, hey, you're going to have a good life. It may be a little
it's
short.
Be good while it lasts.
That's right. That's right.
Can you see the plant shivering and shaking a bit?
Well,
when you say
that? I know. Well, here's what I'm going to talk about. When you have a plant, put it in something that is worthy of that plant. Let's say like my fiddle leaf fig. I have this fiddle leaf fig.
There are people in the world that want to be this fiddle leaf pig because it gets such good
I love
care
this plant. I mean, everybody should have one in their house. No wonder it's the hot plant. It's just so beautiful. And I put it in this great big nubby basket that sits maybe, I would say, I'm just trying to do it here, maybe 2.5 feet high with handles. Mm-hmm. And then I put it, I inverted, one of those black, containers that you get mums or things in. Mm-hmm. And then I put it on top of that with a plastic, drip pan. That's the only thing I can think to call it.
Yeah.
Underneath of it.
Saucer.
Yeah. Well, it's not a saucer. It actually has like sides, really great sides.
Right. But like a pot saucer.
Yes. And so I put it in that. And if I would have put it just in something like, I don't know, that made such a statement, it wouldn't look as good. So you have to put your plants also in something that makes a statement.
Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the cheat that you used. I didn't know you were going to say that. I was going to jump in and say it.
The what?
To emphasize, you did a little cheat because you gave the plant some additional height, right?
Oh yeah, it would have sat too low.
Right.
It would have been situated too low in the basket, and I wouldn't been able to use the basket, but I felt it was wide enough that I thought it would be proportionate. It would look nice.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have those leaves are big and the the tree itself is tall and it's only going to get taller. So you did a great thing. I do that in my house. I have, sometimes I'll put a cinder block sideways, or if I have a couple of bricks that, just piled up, and, I'll put that in there.
That container's not going to go anywhere.
No, I don't move them too much. Right. And the one on my porch is that way too. So it looks like a much bigger palm than it is because it's propped up so high. And then you can put some moss around the top. So you just kind of mix it in. Or if you put the burlap in under the, just sort of scrunch it around, then you're filling in that space between the container that the plant is in and the bigger basket.
Mm-hmm. What a good idea. Hey, I have another question for you, our resident plant lady. You know those river rocks we were talking about?
Uh-huh.
Could you put those at the base of a plant on the soil?
Yeah, I think you could.
Them?
Some plants would like it more than others, so you might want to check that if you were too worried. But I
think that would be a pretty look.
I think it's really pretty.
Beautiful.
It will definitely help. Just like any mulch or moss would do, it's going to definitely help keep the moisture in. So you may even have to water it a little bit less. So keep in mind that if you're going to put something on top of the soil, check to see whether it actually needs water. You don't want to drown your plants. But I think that would be really, really pretty. And there aren't too many plants that would be so fussy that they wouldn't like that.
Because a plant like my fiddle leaf fig, you can see the dirt.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, that I don't want to put moss around the bottom and I don't want to put anything that had a color, but some of those have lots of those black rocks from Bar Harbor. I was just thinking maybe that would be pretty, just like put all around the bottom.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that would be really pretty.
And what we're talking about is layer upon layer upon layer of organic and texture.
Yeah.
So you want to put your plant in something that's pretty, that has other kinds of texture. And even if it's a white pot that maybe has ribbing around it or something interesting, just to elevate that a little more.
One other plant suggestion, since we're delving in here a little
we're
deep.
almost out of time.
Your plant's going to come, probably if you're doing a statement plant, is probably going to come in at least a 5 to 10 gallon, maybe a 15-gallon plastic container that you get from the nursery or Home Depot. Home Depot is a great place to get these types of plants at very reasonable prices. Do yourself a favor, get a bigger pot right away and a bag of potting soil. And before that plant even comes in and you do all the pretties to it with the basket and the rocks or the moss, transplant it and make sure the new pot has drainage. And as Yvonne said, also for like $1.50 or, $2, get yourself one of those saucers that sits under it to collect the water. Because your plant, if you're good to it and it's happy where you put it, is going to grow. And you don't want it to get root bound. And then you have to undo all the nice stuff that you did with the basket and setting it all up and drag it outside it and repot it.
Oh, guess what I'm going to do this afternoon?
Oh, yes.
Put it in something bigger because I haven't done that.
Yeah, because if it's happy, it's going to, and then it's like, binding those geisha girl feet. You think of all its roots squished in there.
Yes, when your feet hurt, everything hurts.
Oh, yeah.
So that's right. Well, listen, we've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about organics, and I hope that you have too.
Pine cones.
Pine cone.
She's got to throw it in there.
She's got to throw that in. She's got
I just threw a pine cone across the room at you.
Don't think of plants. I mean, think of them, but think of other things too, to make your home be filled with texture and beauty. So remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey there. If you're loving our podcast like we're loving our podcast, we would love you to rate and review us. Head to iTunes to do that. It's easy and it would mean so much to us.